Hello guys, this is Movie Lover and welcome to this Movie Lover world. Let's watch a movie about a wife testing her husband's loyalty by hiring a cool girl. Chloe was a cool girl who mingled with high-end clubs. She was young, beautiful, and sexy. She knew how to please her guests with her long-time experience. Also looked like pure and charming. She could always satisfy men's desires. But no matter what role she played, she never got involved in a relationship with any guest. On the building next to the bar club it was Catherine's private clinic. She was a gynecologist and had a happy family. Her husband David was a college professor. He was tall, handsome, erudite, and loved by his students. A mature charm of middle-aged man, he made many female students excited. This time David was invited to give a lecture. Soon after class a girl offered to invite him to dinner. David declined because it was his birthday he needed to go back to celebrate with his family. At the same time, Catherine quietly invited a lot of friends to home, a surprise party for David. But just as everyone was waiting for David to come back in high spirits, David called to say he had missed the flight, told Catherine not to wait for him. Catherine was disappointed, but she had to smile to the end of the party. Late at night the guests came home. Catherine could not help but look at the shadow. The insecurity of a middle-aged woman made her worried. Her husband was so busy with his work that sometimes he forgot her. Her son, who was young, also had trouble communicating with her. Catherine felt the precedent loneliness. The next morning she woke up and saw that David had finished taking shower. He said hello and rushed to work. He forgot his phone in his yesterday coat. Catherine saw it when she heard the message. She saw a message from a female student. Thanks to David for having an unforgettable night with her yesterday. It might have occurred to David that there was something wrong with Catherine. In the evening they went to the restaurant for dinner. Catherine heard from her friends that women with long hair looked more charming. Saw David talking and laughing with a long-hair waitress. She came to the toilet and put down her curled hair. Then she heard someone sobbing in the next room. She asked a few questions and handed the tissue to her partner. That was how Catherine got to know Chloe. In front of her, Chloe was impressed by her casual warmth, so Chloe wanted to give her a hairpin, but she refused. Before Catherine went through the office window, she often saw Chloe accompanying with different men in and out of the hotel, so she knew exactly what Chloe was doing. After returning to her table, Catherine saw Chloe with her client. Again she came up with an idea. On the way back home, Catherine asked David with interest did he miss the flight intentionally or unintentionally that day. David didn't think it made any difference. It was over. When asked if he went out for a drink that night, he hesitated for a moment and said no. David's lie made Catherine more aware that he was having an affair, but she didn't have any evidence. In order to prove her feelings, Catherine went to the bar club and hired Chloe to seduce David. She wanted to see what would happen to David if someone threw themselves in his arms. Chloe asked Catherine about David. Chloe pretended to meet David by chance as a student in the cafe. She borrowed a sugar cane to talk to David. Chloe told Catherine David took the initiative to ask for her name and then made no other move. Catherine thought that David's action showed that he was attracted by Chloe, so she asked Chloe to test David again. In the evening David was chatting with his students. Saw Catherine coming, he immediately hid the chat tab. Catherine did not ask. After that they had a drink. Catherine took advantage of the atmosphere to attract David, but David dampened Catherine's interest in his work. Chloe then reported to Catherine on her progress with David. David had lunch with her, kissed her for a long time in the greenhouse garden. Catherine was a little sad, but she asked Chloe to continue meeting David to see what David was going to do next. When they were apart, Chloe slipped on her bike and fell hard. When Catherine saw it, she helped her carefully clean up and bandage the wound. Catherine's tenderness and carefulness made Chloe felt the love she hadn't seen for a long time. After a few days, even if David was strong, he also couldn't handle the fierce attack of a young sexy girl. Soon they had a more intimate move. Catherine felt sad at the same time. She also worried about Chloe's health. Chloe guaranteed that she was healthy. The next day, when she went to Catherine's office with her medical report, she met Michael, Catherine's son, who there to pick up the tuxedo. Michael looked like Catherine. Chloe couldn't help talking to him. Michael was also fond of Chloe, the beautiful sister. Then Catherine had lunch with her friends. She was out of her mind all the way. She didn't want her friends to wonder if She was having an affair at this time. Catherine received Chloe's message. She rushed to the hotel room. The messy bed showed what just happened, but she tried to hear all about what Chloe and David had just done. When listening, she was a little bit excited. When they were ready to leave the hotel, Catherine asked what perfume Chloe was using. It had to be a good perfume. Chloe took it out and smeared it on Catherine's hand. Catherine thought of the sweet time she had spent with David all day. Looking at the present scene, she couldn't help but cry. Chloe came to appease her and suddenly kissed her. Catherine hesitated for a moment and pushed Chloe away. She was late for her son's performance, and she chose to stay away from David at the diner after the show. David took Catherine's hand, thank her for bringing up such an excellent son. At the same time, David smelled Catherine's hand and said he liked that smell. Catherine was greatly stimulated by this remark. She quietly left the meeting to find Chloe, trying to retrieve it from Chloe, her long-lost passion with David. The picture was too beautiful and great, but it couldn't be played. They left the hotel in the same car late at night. When Catherine was about to get home, Chloe took out the hairpin again. This was what her mother left her. She wanted to give it to Catherine very much, and Catherine took it this time, and she hoped Chloe wouldn't see David again. But when Catherine came in, David asked her who she was cheating on. Catherine's long suffering finally broke out. She accused David of cheating around, but now he told her fault. David thought that Catherine was making trouble. There was a fierce quarrel between them. The next day, Catherine received an email from Chloe in her office. It was the photo of them last night. She then called Chloe, who knew Chloe had come to the office store with flowers in hand. Catherine admitted to having a good time last night, but she didn't want to go on. So Chloe didn't want to end the relationship. She wrote a check for Chloe. Chloe was very sad. She thought Catherine had real feelings for her. Catherine said it was a pure deal now. The deal was over. She said she took Chloe out of the office. Catherine received Chloe's text message after work in the morning. She said she met David and just separated. It was David who contacted her first. Catherine said she would meet Chloe in the coffee shop in hours. At the same time, she made an appointment with David. She hoped to have a frank talk with David. David admitted that he had lied. He had drunk with the students on his birthday. Then Chloe walked in. When she saw Catherine and David, she went out in a hurry. David's looked at strange face and didn't make sense. Catherine realized that Chloe was lying to her about. Chloe helped her test David and what happened to her and Chloe that night. David also said that there were many temptations around him, but he had never been deviant. They had a good talk with each other. Chloe left the cafe and went straight to Catherine's house. The young man Michael couldn't stand the temptation and be easily captured. Catherine just got dressed. When she got home, suddenly found two people lying in bed. Michael couldn't catch up with his pants and left in a hurry, but he didn't notice that his mother looked more flustered than he did. Catherine begged Chloe to leave immediately and stayed away from her son. The fact was that when Catherine was washing her hands and asking about Chloe, Chloe had feelings for Catherine. That was why she made up the lie about David's cheating. She was looking forward to Catherine leaving David to be with her, and she didn't believe Catherine had no feelings for her. Catherine was sorry to make Chloe misunderstand. She just wanted to find David's feeling in Chloe. Chloe was very sad. She pressed her hairpin against Catherine's neck for a kiss. Catherine also gave her a kiss. Suddenly found that her son looking at them, she pushed Chloe away. Chloe broke the glass and stood on the edge of danger. Catherine hadn't had time to save her. Chloe let go of her hands and fell. She chose to fly moths to the fire and remained in Catherine's heart forever. It was another year's birthday party. David was more calm and elegant. Catherine wore the hairpin Chloe had given her on her head. Okay, this is the end of this issue. Thanks for watching. Movie Lover will meet you again with new story. Till take care.